The oven is preheating to 325 degrees. I feel like meatloaf, macaroni, and cheese. Absolutely, time-honored classics. From the time you were knee-high to a grasshopper, you probably ran to your table for a heaping helping of meatloaf and macaroni and cheese. In preparing a meatloaf, I like to use a ground round steak. You could also use ground beef or ground veal, and the quantity is 2 pounds. So with the beef already in the bowl, the next ingredient, spicy Portuguese sausage. And this is actually definitely not a beauty shot, but you just squeeze the sausage out of its container or its little tiny skin, and it goes into the ground beef. Next ingredient is 4 tablespoons of ground horseradish. Now look at the horseradish root. It is not only very beautiful in texture, I think this is a really lovely woody texture, but it is also very fragrant. It's got a real smell to it, and it also has a great bite to it. So in goes 4 tablespoons of fresh grated horseradish and also some color. So in goes 4 tablespoons of tomato paste. This is going to add, as I mentioned, color, but more importantly, a really nice flavor to our meatloaf. 2 teaspoons of salt go in, and then 1 teaspoon of fresh grated black pepper. So in go the hands. I've washed my hands already once, and definitely after I get done mixing up all of this great ingredient mixture of meatloaf, I'm gonna wash my hands one more time, and then we're gonna continue. I've already chopped up the next couple of ingredients. You need ½ cup of chopped red bell peppers. You need ½ cup of chopped white onion, ¼ cup of chopped celery, 2 tablespoons of chopped oregano, and 2 tablespoons of chopped thyme. Now, talking about thyme, if you haven't figured this out yet, this is like gonna be done in no time. Really simple and really easy to prepare. My hands are back in the bowl, and I'm giving this meatloaf one final mixing. Now, this recipe is actually going to prepare 2 meatloafs, so I'm dividing the meat into 2 separate portions. So I'm going to form this into a little loaf, and it's going to go onto an ungreased baking pan. I find that preparing them on a baking sheet creates a nicer meatloaf because it allows the meat to reduce and all of the fat drains away. Final thing before we pop this into the oven for 1 hour of baking is to pour 1 cup of beef stock over top. Now, as the meatloaf cooks over the next hour, I'll keep going back into the oven and baste the meatloaf, and I may actually need to add a little bit more of the beef stock, but we'll have to see about that over the next hour. Cheese, please. There's one thing I should mention about this 50s classic. The meatloaf is in for 60 minutes, the mac and cheese is 45, so that extra 15 minutes allows me to prepare this recipe. I've pre-boiled 3 cups of elbow macaroni, and now you can purchase all kinds of different colors and flavors, so experiment whenever you try this recipe. First ingredient is ¼ cup of grated Swiss cheese. Second one is ¼ cup of grated Canadian cheddar. Nice bite to it, it's going to add a really lovely flavor. Third cheese is grated mozzarella. The last cheese is a smoked Gouda, and I really love the flavor of this cheese, so I'm just going to grate it up. Another thing, too, is you could use Edam, you could use Chev, you can use virtually any cheese, experiment with different kinds, and you'll be able to come up with some really great tastes. So that looks like about ¼ actually it's about ½ cup, and that's okay because I really, again, love these cheese flavors. Take a wooden spoon and just give the macaroni and this cheese a really nice mix. Next thing we need to do is to prepare kind of like an egg wash. So I'm taking 3 eggs and just going to put them into a mixing bowl. 1, do I hear 2, 3 eggs. And you also want to add into this ½ teaspoon of paprika plus ¼ teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of chopped Italian parsley. And you can go ahead and chop a little bit more of the Italian parsley because it always makes a nice garnish once you take the macaroni out of the oven. Okay, in goes 1 cup of homogenized milk. That goes in, and again, just give the whole mixture a nice quick whisk. Make sure it's well blended, and that's looking pretty good. I need to grease the dish in which I'm going to bake it. So this is an attractive specimen right here that I like. So I'm taking a little bit of butter, and I'm going to grease this dish, get it nice and coated so that macaroni and cheese won't stick to it. This is so quick. In goes the macaroni mixture. Look at that cheese. It's so beautiful. Make sure you get every single little one of these guys in there. Level it off a little bit and make sure that it's nicely distributed in the dish. And then take the egg wash and simply pour it over the top of the macaroni and cheese. And try to make sure that you get a little bit of this everywhere. Looks really nice. Now the final thing before you place it into the oven is going to be a bit of a dusting on top of a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan, a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, and a pinch of white pepper. I like to use the white pepper because you don't see it, but it sure gives it a nice flavor. Now, same thing, into a 325-degree oven with the meatloaf. In 45 minutes, we're having dinner. A 50s dinner. You take the meatloaf out, gonna serve it up, then it's mac and cheese. You better twist and shout, we're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Hey, meatloaf, mac and cheese. Timeless classics with a modern twist.